Studio 41 Football Recap Live is brought to you by Studio 41 Home Design Showroom. 13 locations, studio41.com. Vertical, in business since 1985. Chicago's chimney experts for chimney cleanings, masonry work, gas logs. Verticalchimney.com. Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers, the official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. Hooters. At Hooters, originality isn't just one thing, it's everything. World-famous wings and more, served up by the iconic Hooters girl. Hooters, always original. Dr. Pepper, an American original, just like our Chicago Bears. Grab an ice-cold, refreshing Dr. Pepper today at a McDonald's near you. Special Olympics Illinois. Special Olympics Illinois, so I did. Learn more at SOILL.org. Apt. For the best appliances for football season, shop at Apt. Pleasing people since 1936. Find them at apt.com. Four Seasons, heating, plumbing, air conditioning, and electric. For all the right reasons, Four Seasons. Hey, welcome into Studio 41 Football Recap Live. I'm David Kaplan. That's Tom Waddle. That's Alex Brown. Bears fall to the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore, and it was not pretty from an offensive standpoint. Bears are down their top four corners. Understandably so. It makes it tough on the back end. It's our Four Seasons game day breakdown of the 30-16 losses. The Tyler Huntley-led Ravens took control and did not give it back. And guys, Tommy, I'll start with you. It was a game that was eminently winnable, and they just did not do enough, especially the first two possessions, going right down the field twice and only coming away with 3 points each time.
Yeah, look, I hate to start the show with negativity, but they committed 11 more penalties. They're averaging 9 penalties a game for 76 yards. That really has to be cleaned up. And then their red zone efficiency has been really bad lately. And you mentioned that, Cap. Like when you get the ball into the money zone, you got to get it across the goal line. And they're just 5 of 16, I think, over the course of their last 4 or 5 games, which was, about a 31% efficiency rate, which just isn't good enough. I think we all felt, Alex, that defensively they'd played really well, but there was going to come a point in time where all of the takeaways kind of dried up a little bit. You can't continue to turn
unsustainable for a victory model.
And you saw, I think you asked the question, who are we when we're not getting 4 takeaways? And unfortunately, you faced a Ravens team. We talked about it last week. That was 1-5, but a desperate 1-5. Other than Lamar Jackson, they were getting very healthy. It's a team with a lot of pedigree. They've averaged 12 wins a season the last 3 years. They go to the playoffs every year, and coming out of the bye, they're now 15-3 under John Harbaugh. So go on the road and play a team that's desperate. It was tough. You just got to stop making mistakes. That's for sure.
Alex, This week Ben Johnson said. Yeah, I spoke yesterday. He said, look, we've been harping as coaches since training camp. You got to get lined up properly. You can't false start. You can't make mistakes. We can't have all these penalties. He said, I've said it till I'm blue in the face. Guess what? Now it's on the leadership of this team to clean that up. So how do the leaders clean this up?
They can't fire people. So they can't cut people. So it's still on the coaches. It's on Hallis Hall. Everybody that's in Hallis Hall. Yeah, the captains or the leaders of the team, they run the locker room and keep all that policed. As far as people getting lined up, I mean, it'll take somebody to step up and just say, hey, listen, I can't have this guy out here with me if he's not going to do his job. Because when he doesn't do his job, it makes my job harder. I think that's the way you got to look at it. But the coaches can't just kind of get themselves out of it if a guy keeps doing the wrong thing, I tell you what, Lovey would say stuff, and he told me a couple times. And you go out and you do the wrong thing, you mess up. He just come put his arm around you, say, you know what? That's my fault. I keep putting you out there like that, and that's gonna hit a nerve to somebody that's competitive, because what do you mean you keep putting me out there and I just keep messing up? So you just see the writing on the wall, and I think the writing on the wall has to be there. And if you get rid of the right guy, hey, should have start falling in place.
You know, it's interesting, Cap. Like Alex is right. You can't just start firing people, like, because, you know, Theo's had some issues with some false starts, and you're like, okay, well, if you don't stop doing that, we're going to replace. Oh, wait a second. We replaced Braxton Jones with you. So I think that Ben also said, and I agree 100%, you're going to have mistakes over the course of the game. The pre-snap penalties are inexcusable. Like, that's all about, you know, lining up correctly, knowing the snap.
26 of them.
Yeah. Like, that's just inexcusable. You're going to, every now and again, as a defensive back, you're going to get called for illegal contact, a pass interference. You're going to hold every now and again. And those are things that you can live with. But, you know, the other stuff's just, it's unacceptable. And, you know, I love Ben Johnson. I love Dennis Allen. I love the staff. But this sticks to them, too. You know, I mean, listen, when you're averaging 9
no doubt
a game, this sticks to the coaching staff. I would say this. I always felt, I don't know how you felt, Alex. I assume you felt the same way. I didn't want to be the weak link. So, like, when you say take it away, take it out of the coach's hands, and you start talking to team leaders, when we got meetings, I was the last MFer that was going to be on film being pointed out for making a mistake. So I think the point you make as a team or a team leader is like, guys, don't be the weak link. Don't be the reason why a really solid drive stalls, because you're the guy that just isn't buttoned up. So,
but doesn't something have to happen? Something has to happen. So
eventually,
you're of something happening. If nothing ever happens, it's like having that kid that you keep telling not to do something, but you never take that belt off the wall and actually get after them. Then they just keep doing it over and over and over. At some point, it has to stop, and there has to be something in place to get it to stop.
In terms of Caleb's play, let's talk about Caleb Williams, and I can give you his numbers. Caleb Williams, we call it Winging It. It's brought to you by our great partners at Hooters, 11 Chicago area locations, originalhooters.com. We'll be in Downers Grove. We will be in Melrose Park coming up next week. Looking forward to that on November the 11th. Caleb Williams, 25 of 38, 285, a pick, which was crucial to the loss, 3 runs, 54 yards. So after watching the tape, I went into it like Ben Johnson and thought, I didn't like what I saw. After watching it, I went, Rome dropped one over there. That guy dropped one there. There was a penalty there. Caleb also can't take 2 intentional grounding penalties. He had another one where I think it was Marlon Humphrey, maybe Starks, was going to light him up when he slid. That may be why he went down and didn't go out of bounds, but not going out of bounds forced you to try a 58-yard hurricane kick, and your guy's not good enough to make that kick at the end of the half. So your guys' thoughts on Caleb?
I was real bothered by the one thing I was real bothered by was the situational awareness, not getting out of bounds. That was the part that bothered me the most. The interception over the middle. I mean, you can't put the ball on the hip. You got to put it out in front of him. I get that part. I think I'm more of thinking that throwing a pick over the last 3 out of the last 4 games. I don't think that's Caleb. I think he's more of what he's been in college and his first year here. He's not going to turn the ball over. I think he's had some bad juju there. What did you just called it? The taking the sack or getting
the intentional grounding.
I mean, hey, it's okay. It's still going to be. We're going to get the ball right there. You know, we're still going to get the ball right there. If he throws it away, it just doesn't go down as a sack. That's it. We really don't lose anything from it. So I need him to be aware of what's going on and understand that getting out of bounds and how crucial that play was. All the other stuff I think we can fix. But I mean, people look at it and say, well, I love Caleb. I do. But I just think that he definitely has to play better because when you're not getting the takeaways, like we just saw, this team is built that way. You have to get the takeaways in order for them to win. And when they don't, you can't turn the ball over on offense.
Yeah, I think, guys, I didn't think it was, I've seen him play worse. Like, I thought his performance against the Saints was worse. I mean, like, he ripped some good, deep crossing routes. He ripped a good, hole route, honey hole route. I thought he played more on time. And
what is that route called?
He hit that honey hole right over there on the side between the safety and that corner that doesn't drop back enough.
I guess in Division III, we didn't call it a honey hole route.
What'd you call it?
What did you call it?
A deep crosser? I don't know.
Well, that describes the route. Where's the spot you're throwing it to?
I just never heard the term honey hole. I like it.
It's just a spot you can put the ball at. No matter what the defense does, they can't do anything. Yeah. There's a perfect pass to that place, and you can't do anything.
Yeah. Now, with that said, I thought Alex mentioned there's two words that just I shake my head nodding yes and resonates with me completely, and that's situational awareness. I give you 4 different situations. The interception. You're 5 yards deep in your own end zone. You're down 3. When you see Humphrey start to feather back and take away that landing spot, there's only one read, and that reads the flat.
The check down to Manungai.
Once you see the coverage, and this is where kind of, the things, the missing a wide receiver every now and again doesn't bother me. All quarterbacks do that. This is one of those things that kind of sticks with me. When you see that coverage, and if you watch the film, he's looking to the right side. He's looking to the strong side. And Humphrey's, been to a number of Pro Bowls. He's a really good player. And they were running this lurk coverage where you've got man coverage on the back, and they're trying to hit that kind of medium depth crosser. And when you got that lurker that's sitting there and drops back, immediately the quarterback's got to say to himself, when he comes out of the huddle, he's like, I'm going to be 5 yards deep in my own end zone. Last thing I can do is turn the ball over because we don't want to give them anything free here. So situational awareness, as Alex said, where I'm at. So that would lead me to say, as soon as I see that coverage and I see that corner on the strong side drop back, I know that Manungai's wide open, and he was. For 7.
He could have crawled to the first down.
So, to me, that's situational awareness. Know where you're at. Don't try to make that hero Superman throw into a spot that's a bad read. I would also say he did a great job tucking and running. I'd like to see him do more of that. But as you guys mentioned, it's at the end of the first half. You got to get out of bounds. You got to save your timeouts. And then the other thing you guys talked about was the intentional groundings. You've got to find a way. Sometimes they're unavoidable, but you can't have 2 of them because they're just drive killers, So know where you're at, know the situation. He's a really smart kid. He's got a high football IQ. And, I think that over the course of time, these are all things that I know the coaching staff is pointing them out because Ben used the words that Alex used, situational awareness. I think overall, guys, again, I didn't think this was the worst game he played. I don't think it's good enough at this point. I think that for me, in general terms, I need him to provide more answers than questions at this point. I need him to provide more solutions than problems. And that's what you expect when you're drafting a quarterback first overall. I'm not saying, Cap, that he's got to be the reason why you win every game because
there's going to be weeks he has to be.
True. But how about this? Can we all agree? We need him and want him to be at this stage of his career good. We can have the great conversation later. We can put that off to another time. But at this point, what we need to talk about on a weekly basis is, hey, Caleb was good. And I think we're trying to get there. I don't think we're there yet.
Do you think he's learning though? Like when he misses Humphrey in that defense and he tries to throw it over. For me, is if I see him do it again, that's when it bothers me. Because I see you now, you're forcing it. We've seen it, we've talked about it, and you're still doing it. That's the part that bothers me. if he sees something, I mean, we have to understand. We're talking about a second-year quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're still talking about a quarterback that's learning. If we start to see the same things over and over, I think that's when we get worried that he's not picking things up. But, I mean, I don't know. I would love to see him just know, right?
Yeah.
But it's the NFL. It's not. It is very hard to play in this league, as you know. And playing quarterback is the hardest position on the field. So
it really is. But
Tommy, address that comment real quick right there.
I mean, how does that guy know? How does that guy know the wide receiver ran the wrong route?
He doesn't.
So I mean, like, look, I'm not ever going to criticize anybody's opinion. We're all welcome to our own opinions. But for somebody who's not immediate, and listen, I'll say the first thing too. I watch a lot of tape, but I'll be the first one to tell you my disclaimer is this: I don't know exactly what the coach is asking every player in that offensive huddle to do. So what I'm trying to do is then use my experience, having played the game since I was 7 years old, to put myself in that situation and come to some common sense conclusions. With the disclaimer, I may be wrong because I don't know exactly what Ben is asking them all to do. So with that said, like, I think it's dangerous, and dangerous is the wrong word. I think I wouldn't come out and say, well, I know the wide receivers ran the wrong. How the hell do you know the wide
Here's
receivers?
Another one. Travis says intentional grounding was a hot route. Loveland was optional. His defender was inside. Loveland didn't go out.
How do you know? How do you know that the hot route was the responsibility of the tight end? I don't know that. All I know is that the quarterback needs to know when he's between the tackles and behind the line of scrimmage, if he's going to throw the ball away, it has to go beyond the line of scrimmage. So the first intentional grounding was he was just panicked and threw it 4 yards. You can't do that. The other one, I can't tell you, but the ball has to be somewhat close to the intended receiver. So I don't know what to tell you. Again, I don't know exactly what the calls were, but let's just say in general terms, and this isn't the first time if I'm not mistaken, the intentional grounding calls have been made. Am I right or am I wrong?
That is correct.
So let's just all wrap our arms around each other and have a group hug and say the situational awareness at the very least needs to get better over the course of time. How about that?
Okay.
We agree on that?
Mm-hmm.
We can agree. Okay, I got to talk about the offensive line. First of all, the Joe Tooney play, J.J. Waddle, I thought did a really nice job on the color, said, I don't know what they're looking at there. That's not a false start. Did not see anything. I asked Olin. He said, I watched the tape. Again, I'm not getting a camera right down in there. Did he flinch a little? I don't know the answer to that, but I didn't see anything. AB, did you see some missed calls by the officials? Certainly the DeAndre Hopkins push-off was absolutely a missed call.
Yeah, the only missed call.
Shit,
yeah, the only missed call. I'm sorry, my bad. So you asked
You're
me
on YouTube, buddy. Waddle swears all the time on here.
Okay, all right. Well,
hey, Alex, you can say whatever the fuck you want. How about that?
Perfect. All right. So, yes, it pissed me off because the calls that seemed to have been missed were the calls that were against us in critical situations, and it could have changed with a drive or put the game in a different situation. But, when you start talking like that, then those really fall in that excuse category, and you go out and you control the things that you can control. We talked about it earlier, pre-snap penalties. Like, football is hard enough.
Yeah.
Football is hard enough for you to go out and hurt yourself, do things that require no athletic ability whatsoever. Those are the things that get you beat. Yes, you're going to run into people that are just more talented than you are. When we look at this Baltimore team, they're 1-5, but hell, we're talking about a very, very talented football team that's been hurt over.
Well, they've won 12 games each of the last 2 years.
They're very talented. So and then they're without their quarterback, but as a team, yeah, they're ready to go. And no one picked the Bears to win this game when the season started.
That's correct.
Why are you shocked that we lost? It's just all right.
All right, let me talk to you guys about because I'm getting so many tweets about this. It's our Special Olympics Illinois special teams play of the game. We've got a whole bunch of special team stuff I want to talk about. First, another mistake. Torrey Taylor, a 59-yard punt, rolls dead at the Ravens 1. Illegal formation on the kicking team, 5-yard penalty, replay, 4th down. He kicked it down 50-some yards to the 22-yard line. But guess what? That is a big problem. And then Cairo Santos, who hit 3 field goals, tried the hurricane field goal. Didn't get to use the kicking ball. They had to rush him out there because of Caleb's penalty and not getting out of bounds. And guess what? It fell woefully short. So, Tommy Waddle, would you keep Jake Moody and cut Cairo Santos? Jake Moody has proven in his career so far to not be consistent, but has a big leg. Cairo doesn't have a big leg. He's consistent. 21 of his last 26 prior to Sunday from beyond 50 yards. What would you do?
Well, first of all, I admit I'm not a kicking expert, but I would say, listen, that 58-yarder that Cairo missed, I think it's a tough one to hang on him. Again, this was a last-second get out there. And the reason why all these kickers, in a large part, I mean, like these guys, some of them could kick it through a steel door, but that kicker ball is an enormous advantage. Like
it's like 3 yards longer.
Yes, there was a time when you couldn't even touch the football as a kicker. Now you can bring your own football into the game to kick. That is a huge difference. And so look, I know that there's some complaints about Cairo's inability to hit the long field goal, and I understand that, especially in today's game. I think to hang that one on him is a little bit difficult. I don't know. I mean, I'll just tell you how I felt. I mean, Jake Moody stepped in and looked really, really good. I have visions, guys, of Jake Moody kicking the ball into the ass of the center too much when he was with San Francisco. I think he was 16 of 29 in field goals from 40 and beyond in his time in San Francisco. So I'm the wrong guy to ask this question. I've got kicker PTSD with Jake. I think you have to trust the coaching staff. Like, I trust them up there that they see these guys every day in practice. Cairo has been the most accurate kicker, I think, in Bears history, but doesn't have a big leg. You don't have as much of a sample size with Jake Moody. So I'm just talking in circles right now because I don't want to answer the question. But I guess, I would feel more comfortable with the guy that has been more accurate in my uniform right now. And kicking in Soldier Field as the weather gets worse is really difficult.
AB, this guy wants to keep both of them. 40 yards and in, Santos, 40 yards and out.
No, you know what? And this is a true story. You sound just like my wife.
I didn't say that. I'm reading the.
I'm telling you, she said, why don't we use the other kicker? Because he can kick further. Because we're going to have to take a linebacker that plays special teams off the damn field or out of uniform to have a kicker stand there and wait for the one.
I agree. That wasn't for me. That was a commenter.
No. I know. I'm just saying, like, it's great. No, we're keeping one kicker. We're keeping Cairo. That's it. Like, I'd much rather have Caleb understand that, hey, listen, we need to get to the 35-yard line as opposed to the 40, so Cairo can have a real shot at making this. I've seen Cairo, and I mean, we said it earlier that he's kicked in Soldier Field before. This is totally different. If this boy can't kick at damn San Francisco, I'm sorry. Come November, December, he ain't kicking in Chicago.
I think it's a great point too, Alex, that look, let's put some more of the pressure on the guys that are most important on your team. So let's say, hey guys, to be comfortable here, we got to get to here to send Cairo out. And if we don't, we're going for it. And I'm good these days with being overly aggressive anyway, because I'm fine with going for it for 4th and under 5, especially if you've got a talented, or what we should have is a talented offense and a good play caller in Caleb or in Ben. By
the way, Russ C, thanks for the donation, Russ. Caleb Presser after the game on that play we were talking about. Loveland was an option route. Olin Kreutz on the score. Defender was leveraged inside. He should have broken out. that's your answer.
Okay. I mean, still, so what's the conclusion here? That, that this particular play shouldn't have been hung on Caleb for an intentional grounding.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the guilty is charged then. Okay. So that one's not on him. Is the other one still on him?
Yes.
Okay. Can that happen? Is that allowed? I mean, do we want to get rid of that? Yes, we do. I think we
absolutely.
Do you hang the tip balls that turn into interceptions? Like they still go down under the quarterback as an interception, and come the end of the season, you don't say he had 10 interceptions, but 4 of them were tipped that the receiver should have caught. No, it's just him. So if he can get us out of those situations or deliver the football in other places without the intention of grounding, I mean, I see other guys do it. It can be done.
Did my favorite D end ever just compare me to his wife? I don't know how to respond to that. I got to sit down. LMAO.
Sorry, hey, that's not. I mean, I love her, so I mean, maybe I love you. So
there you go. Special Olympics. When voices tell us you can't or you won't, we simply say I did. Special Olympics Illinois. So I did. Learn more at SOILL.org. We were at their Champions Ball, Guff and I, the other night. Magnificent event at the Garrity, and to honor such a wonderful, wonderful group as Special Olympics Illinois. All right, I want to talk to you about the touchdown that put it away. Chevy drive of the game, 9 plays, 66 yards, took 257. Derrick Henry got stacked up at the line, bounced it out, took it to the house, 30-16. That put the ball game away. Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers are the official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. That one, Tommy Waddle, put the game on ice. It was over at that point.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to ride this defense. I think that they've done some really good stuff over the course of the first 7 games of the season, especially without some of their better players. The secondary was decimated. They had done a really nice job slowing down a couple of rushing attacks prior to this game. I think they gave up 177 yards in this one. They didn't get the takeaways. Look, this was a game I think a lot of us looked at and said, because you had injuries in the secondary, this was a game where you lean on your offense and you have the offense say, hey, guys, we got you. We know that you got some injuries, so we're going to carry the heavy load here, so just lean on us. They scored 16 points. So, we could sit and dog cuss the defense, but I think the defense has overachieved, to be honest with you, based on what type of talent is in their huddle consistently over the course of the last several weeks. So I would tell you that I thought the offense, this was a day where we all thought the offense was going to have to put up a big number to compensate for some of the defensive injuries, and they didn't do it. So, yep, they didn't bow up and stop them when they needed to, but I'm not gonna rail on the defense.
Both of you guys, Kyle Slack says, Alex, Tommy, you both wanted the punter in the 4th round. Yeah, so now do you want a kicker in the 4th round too? I know how you love drafting kickers.
You're not getting me hyped up right now. I'm not doing it. I'm not falling for it, okay? Not falling for it.
No. That one just fell on deaf ears. I said it was one of the most arrogant picks I've ever seen in my life. That to me was a pick you make if your roster is totally.
Yeah, if you're the Eagles.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not letting the defense off the hook. You got to get takeaways. That's what we do. The team is built a certain way and requires certain things to happen throughout the game. And
but you can't rely on 4 every week.
No, not 4, but get 1. We're talking about Huntley. We're talking about a practice squad type of quarterback that you're playing against, and you give up damn near 400 yards. You give up 177 yards rushing. That has nothing to do with offense. Do your job. Giving up 30 points has nothing to do with offense. So if you do and hold your goals and you meet all your goals, we're still in this football game. We need a field goal to win at the end, because the goal is to hold them under 17 points, hold them under 100 yards rushing. You got to tackle guys. I saw a lot of missed tackles. I saw we didn't get the takeaways, and we have to get them. For this particular team, how this team is built, we have to get the takeaways, and that's what makes us a team that need to be respected when we're getting the takeaways. If we're not, then it's very hard on offense. They're not there.
Tommy, they had two that they could have had. I don't know how Huntley held on to the ball when Sweat was punching at it. He almost lost it, almost got that. And then Kevin Byard was just maybe a foot behind. It went off his fingertips. He couldn't quite get it.
As they say, some weeks you're the bug, other weeks you're the windshield. You know, I mean, like sometimes they bounce into your arms and other times they don't. I can't disagree with Alex. You give up 30 points, it's not a good day for your defense, that's for sure. I know they had 2 sacks. I think they also registered 3 total pressures. Their pass rush up front, guys, it's an issue. And it's going to be an issue this week, depending on what Flacco's status is. If you can't get to Flacco and make a 40-year-old man a little bit nervous, especially when you have injuries in your secondary, he's going to have a big day. So I don't know how they get to Flacco. I just give them a shit ton of credit because I'm not overly impressed with their front. And I think they have done a really nice job recently. They exhaled against a team that really needed to get their acts together. And look, I give some days again, the Ravens, did a nice job on offense, even with a backup quarterback.
This next team that we're playing, they don't have it's a totally different math problem, if you will, right? Like now you come out and they do have 2 guys on offense that can whip you as receivers. They can run up and down the field and they can destroy you. You did not have that against Baltimore. But on the flip side, you do not have to go against that same defense that you had to go against at Baltimore in Cincinnati. You don't have to go against that defense. So this is totally different. The offense has to come out and score points because you cannot. I don't expect our defense to hold this team under 24 points. So you have to score at least 24 points. Now, if we can get the takeaways, then that changes things. But without the takeaways, we have to score more than 24 points or we're going to lose.
All right, we're going to take our mid-show break. We'll come right back. Got more to do with the guys. I want to talk to them about the offensive line play and the run game, and we'll look ahead to the Bengals. We'll be right back on Studio 41 Football Recap Live.
Our family had been talking about redoing the kitchen for a long time. Studio 41 had all the pieces I wanted.
With Studio 41, we found their prices competitive. They helped us stay on a budget.
They spent a lot of time with me in the studio, and I got to touch and feel things.
Our big fear was if you go online, who's standing behind the product? Studio 41 had the best selection, and they took her ideas and brought it to life.
It was everything I dreamed it could be.
Visit studio41.com to find a showroom near you.
Okay, we're just here for dishwashers.
Just a dishwasher.
All right, our apt player of the game, abt.com, and punch this promo code in. Tell your friends, REKAP25, REKAP 25. Any purchase 150 or more, you'll save $25. Try those brand new AirPod 3s. They are spectacular. The player of the game is Tyler Huntley, 17 of 22, $186, a touchdown and 8 runs for 53 yards. Apt, pleasing people since 1936, and they are a great home for Bosch refrigerators and dishwashers. Bosch at Apt, pleasing people since 1936. Your thoughts, Tommy, on Tyler Huntley, because everyone got so geeked up when Lamar Jackson was out, and this dude played really well.
He did. You give him credit. He'd been in their system 5 years. I think he spent 1 year in Miami, I think, but he's familiar with what they're doing. I think he was perfect, but I thought he did a really nice job. I think the offense runs kind of comparable. It's certainly not as explosive without Lamar, but they run it in the same manner with Snoop Huntley.
Why would you have Cooper Rush anyway play ahead of this guy?
Don't know. Not sure. You'd have to ask John Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta about that. But Snoop's been part of their organization, like I said, for five out of his last 6 years.
You know, he got released by the Browns, and they asked John Harbaugh, what made you bring him back? He said, to be honest with you, wasn't even thinking about it. And I got a text message from him. Hey, I got released. You want me back? He said, yeah, that's a good idea.
Listen, I mean, ran the ball for what? He had to have 40, 45, something like that in the
53 yards.
53 yards rushing. So, listen, I think you take a veteran like that, and sometimes, Alex, those guys can sting you a little bit too, because they're smart. They know what you're trying to do, and while they're not going to hang 350 and 40 points on you, I take them seriously for sure.
I just think when you put a guy like that in, Derrick Henry's the guy. Yeah. So the threat of him keeping it, sure, I want him. Okay, if you're going to get 50 yards rushing, fine. I don't want Derrick Henry to get going, and they did a pretty good job. He just got in the end zone twice. They did a pretty good job of holding Henry down, but him throwing the ball, make him throw the ball. In some of those situations, we're not getting pressure. Any quarterback in the NFL, regardless of where they are, first, second string, if you don't get pressure on them, they're there in the pros for a reason. They can make easy throws. So,
well, he had a throw over the top of TJ Edwards. He dropped it in there. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, now that's a damn good throw.
Okay, one throw, Cap. Okay, one throw. Stop it. Come on.
I'm just being honest.
I know, but we're talking. All right, fine. But one throw, I'm not. You're not my starting quarterback. Okay, decent. You're an NFL quarterback. You should be able to make one throw out of 40. Yeah, sure.
No, I mean, I'm with you, Alex. I think the game plan is look, you sell out, you stop the run, you force Huntley to beat you from the pocket, yes, by throwing it. And quite frankly, he did it, so I don't know what to tell you. Not every Sunday's a Picasso.
Mm-hmm. The defense was different. The defense was different with Roquan coming back. I mean, he was out for a while, and that defense, you could run the ball up and down the field. We had no running game. And then you force Caleb to throw the ball 30 plus 40 times. Like that's not the recipe you want when you're trying to win a football game. You don't want them throwing that much. By
the way, Alex, you mentioned some of the quarterbacks against you guys. Did you ever have a quarterback that you went, how is this guy beating us, when you had all those great defensive players?
Yes. Yes. It was Miami quarterback. He was actually on our team during the Super Bowl.
Brian Griese.
He came in when we were playing Tampa, I think. Mm-hmm. And we ended up beating them, but it was like 40-41 or so. The starting quarterback got hurt. He comes in and he just starts throwing it all over the place. It's like, oh my gosh, like, what is happening here? So yeah, I mean, but Brian Griese's like, I think he's better than this kid.
Hey, Juicebox 2859, thanks for the donation and the comment. Tommy, you go first. He says, what do your eyes tell you about Caleb? Can he play or not? I'd rather see Bagent, but what the hell do I know?
You're not going to see Bagent, nor should you. You know what I mean? Like, look, you don't even have to make a decision on Caleb until after next year. So you're going to see him. My eyes tell me he's a young quarterback who's coming from a situation where he never was in structure. Like, he would come out of the previous play and he'd look to the sideline. It's just the offense he was in. They'd show him a picture. They'd give him hand signals. He'd never go into the huddle. Like, all of this is foreign to him. So, like, the learning curve is enormous. I don't think the collegiate game these days does these guys any favor as they go to the next level, because most of them are not in traditional standard offenses. My eyes tell me that he's a young kid who's still trying to find his way, who's making improvements on a pretty consistent base. And you're going to just have to be patient before you make a long-term conclusion about who he is and what he's capable of.
I think he's the most talented quarterback we've ever had. Honestly, I really do. I think that he is playing for a second-year quarterback. I think he's playing at a good level. Obviously, we want him to play better, but there aren't many quarterbacks that can make that throw. And I know Rome Odunze dropped it, but him scrambling around and made that throw on the sideline, and then he turns around, and very few quarterbacks make that throw that he made to DJ Moore. You just don't see it. So when you want somebody else, I don't believe, and this is not a knock on Bagent at all, I don't think Bagent can make that throw. I don't think he can make that throw to DJ Moore. But I want that ceiling guy. I want to see if we got it right. I think we got it right. I think it's going to take some time to teach him how to play the position. But just go back and look at some of the people that you believe are great, whether that's Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or all those guys, and look at them as they progress and to become a pro, because there was always questions about all of them. You think there weren't questions about Tom Brady? He went in the 6th round. Of course there were questions about it. Peyton Manning come out. He never beat Florida, so people
went 2-4. Well, that's not a real.
No. Like in the big game, I'm just saying, in the big game, they thought he got nervous and he couldn't overcome that. That's what I mean by that. Like they didn't think he could do it. Tom Brady threw 12 interceptions at least for his first 6 years. At least 12. This kid threw 6 last year and didn't have a damn offensive coordinator to even speak of. Like, just allow the kid to like develop into.
Troy Aikman went 1-15 as a rookie.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I just think you got to, again, I repeat what I said. I think look, you're not going to make any decision. You don't have to make a decision until at the end of next year. And I just think you got to let it breathe and let it develop and we'll come to a conclusion at some point. I just think everyone in this environment these days wants to be, I got to be right. Not only got to be right, I got to be first to be right. I don't give a shit about being first. Mm-hmm. That's, whether it was with Justin or Mitch, I wanted to see them play for 2.5 years before I came to a conclusion. Now, I may have some strong feelings about the direction it's going, but I think this kid's more talented than the other 2 kids. I think he plays the position better than the other 2 guys. I want to see him develop in this system with a group that I think is very good offensively. And I'm going to be patient. If you choose not to be patient, I'm not going to yell at you, but like,
I am.
By the way, Tom Brady, first 6 years, 78 interceptions.
Yeah. I mean,
it happens, man. It is hard to play, and stop thinking that everything is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's not. That is something that we probably will never see again. You come out your first year starting, throwing 50 touchdowns, winning MVP.
By the way, Alex, September of 2008, Brian Greasy quarterbacking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mm-hmm. Buccaneers win in overtime in Chicago, 27-24. Brian Greasy, 38 of 67, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, and he threw for 407 yards.
Hold on, they beat us in that game?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, they did.
Great.
In overtime.
Thanks, Cap. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Just gotta.
It happens. It happens.
It does. And nobody wanted to cut Urlacher after that game. Okay.
No.
Yeah, they got a touchdown with 10 seconds left to tie the game.
Yeah, that vaunted defense couldn't make a play, so we were terrible.
You were up 24-14 with 6:38 to go in the game. They went 12 plays, 63 yards, and 327 field goal. Got the ball back and scored with 10 seconds left. They went 11 plays, 79 yards, 142, tied the game, and then in overtime kicked the field goal with 4:24 left to win.
Hey, man, we were terrible in that game. We were like we didn't make a play. We needed to make a play. We didn't make a play. And notice, like, I'm not talking like I wasn't on the field. Hell, I saw him throwing for them 400 yards. I was there.
Wow. Tommy,
I will say this, Cap. Like, I'm with Alex. Yes, the defense and as a very accomplished NFL player and on a defense that was very, very good. they expect to throw. I'm assuming you expect to pitch shutouts on every Sunday, and I love that. The truth is there have been more resources pushed into the middle of the pot on this offense.
Mm-hmm.
So going forward, what my expectation is that the defense continue to play, good football, but the offense is too much is given, much is expected.
Mm-hmm.
The first pick of the draft was the quarterback 2 years ago. They picked a wide receiver at 9. They spent $60 million guaranteed upgrading the interior of that offensive line. You brought in the right coach and gave him $12, $13 million a year. You drafted a tight end and a wide receiver. You gave DJ money. Like, your chips are all in on the offense.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see them shoulder the responsibility starting this weekend in Cincinnati against the horseshit Bengals defense, and them be the reason why you walk out of that building with a W. Because we're asking a defense where the resources, there haven't been as many resources to overachieve.
In the NFL and spending on defense.
Right. Well, and that's true on their defensive line. But you can't argue that draft picks and everything else, there's been more invested in that offense than the defense. So I expect more out of the offense than the defense at this point.
Anna, that comment that was just up there says it's not all about Caleb. Caleb and Ben need to grow, and Ben has a ways to go too. Caleb's read on the INT was bad, but isn't it on the coach in part to make sure that doesn't happen?
What do you want the coach to do? Do you want him to be on the field and be talking into the ear of the – listen, what I can prepare you is for, we're going to run this play, and these are the particular looks you can get. If you get this look, this is what you're supposed to do. If you get that look, this is what you're supposed to do. I get it. I mean, it's the job of the head coach to develop this quarterback, but that's a pretty simple read in my humble opinion. Again, when you see the cornerback start to fade back, the flat's open. You're 5 yards deep in your own end zone. There's only one read and there's only one option.
Check down.
I'm using more words to describe it than what the coach said when he was asked about it yesterday. What would you have preferred Caleb to do?
Take the check down.
Take the check down, and they moved on to the next question. So I give the coach a lot of credit too. He wasn't going to sit there and berate the quarterback for making a bad move or a bad decision, but there was only one read on that play.
Bad things happen at work, though. Bad things happen at work. Every fourth time I take my wife out, the dang waiter or waitress dropped something on the tray. They didn't try to do it. It just fell. Like, okay, like, all right, we're good. That don't mean they don't know how to damn hold shit, Like, oh, it's fine.
They were mesmerized by Carrie's beauty, and they're like, how'd this dude snag her?
See, this is the type of stuff I did not want to come up here and have to deal with, Kaplan. I did not see.
That Alex Brown, man, he outkicked his coverage.
After we beat the shit out of these Bulldogs, we're going to stop all this paying to say Bulldog stuff. Right?
By the way, Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood.
Yeah.
Thank you for the $1.99 hoodie. Alex, do not show up Saturday. Beware of the dogs. Go Dogs.
You know what? I love Hood, man. And I'm very happy that he gets to feel what I felt for so long in beating the shit out of the Bulldogs. So he gets to feel that finally in his late 40s.
He's older than that.
Okay, all right. So in his late 40s, early 50s, he gets to feel what it's like to actually win. So congratulations, but we're going to beat y'all ass on Saturday. I'm going to be right there in front of my TV. Oh, we need to win. Gosh, please. We need to win.
Dr. Pepper is an American original, just like our Chicago Bears, pleasing your taste buds since 1885. A unique combination of 23 flavors. Grab an ice cold, refreshing Dr. Pepper, any McDonald's near you. I want to talk about the catch of the game. We should just name it the honorary Tom Waddle Award.
Yeah, right.
But I'm serious, Tommy. But it is our vertical chimney care catch of the game. DJ Moore. 42 yards, a one-handed catch deep down the sideline on the final drive. He should have got out of bounds. He didn't, but it was a hell of a throw and a hell of a catch.
Yeah, I mean, the individual play is, just for Caleb to be able to get that ball off was crazy. And then to throw it in a catchable spot, like every bit of it was really impressive. I think you make a really good point, though, Cap. I mean, at the end of the day, you also have to have situational awareness, and you'd hope to get out of bounds and try to preserve some time on the clock. But look, DJ's an infinitely, talented guy. So is Caleb. So, I'm not shocked that great plays like that are made. But, yeah, that was something unbelievable for sure.
What'd you think of it, AB? That catch the throw was ridiculous.
Thank you. Gosh.
Thank you. He got absolutely destroyed, and he put it right on his hands.
Everybody makes the one-handed catch these days. Everybody.
Because those gloves are, like the ball. Yeah.
Did you wear gloves, Tommy? Tommy, did you wear gloves?
No. Back in the day, the technology wasn't as good. The only gloves that were available were those old Newman gloves. And the leather on them, when it got cold and wet, they would freeze and they would be slippery. So there was no reason for me. I always just had one of those hand pouches with hand warmers in them. And I just always wanted to feel the ball on my fingertips without the gloves. Now, if I had the access to the gloves they have today, I would definitely wear them because I think technology-wise, it's special. It's great.
By the way, that is our vertical catch of the game. Vertical in business since 1985. Tommy was on that 85 Bears team. Chicago's chimney experts for chimney cleaners, masonry work, and gas logs. They fixed my fireplace when we had a major issue. They are the best in the business, and now they partner with us. VerticalChimney.com. Tommy, what was it like being on the 85 Bears?
I wasn't on the 85 Bears. Don't be an asshole.
Alex, we do that all the time on the air. We go, Tom Waddle, member of the 85 Bears. Drives him nuts.
Why you mess with him like that?
Yeah. Well, I don't even care about.
We also say that he was the guy that caught the Doug Flutie Hail Mary.
That was not me. That was Gerard Phelan. That was not me. I didn't do that either.
I don't know how you could do both, be on the 85 Bears and catch the Flutie Hail Mary.
Well, the Flutie Hail Mary was in 84, wasn't it?
Is that what it was?
Yes.
It was 84, so he could have actually
done both.
You're right. You're exactly right about that. Yeah. And by the way, do you know, I played with Ozzie Trapillo's father. Mm-hmm. Ozzie's dad, his late father, Steve, is the one lifting Doug up in the celebration after the ball is completed.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ozzie's dad. I played with Ozzie's dad for 2 years at BC.
Yeah, I did not know he was the one lifting him up. All right, let's look at this Bengals game before we get out of here. We don't know if Joe Flacco is going to play. He's questionable, is what they're saying. He's had a bit of a shoulder issue. If he can't go, it'll be Jake Browning, who they absolutely did not want to play. That's why they went and traded for Joe Flacco. So how big a drop-off is it from 41-year-old Flacco, Alex, to Jake Browning?
Oh, it's a huge drop-off, apparently, because Browning played last year, and I thought he had some really good moments last year, and for whatever reason, the team did not think he was progressing or playing at that level still, so they were willing to trade draft capital in the division to get a quarterback that is 40-plus years old that they'll probably only have for a year. So that should tell you a lot about how they feel about Browning. And if he's able to play, if he is forced to play, then I think everything changes for the Bears and their the opportunity to go up there and get a win.
Here's some stats for you, Cap. With Flacco under center the last 3 games, they're averaging 380 yards and 30 points per game. And it's not just the passing game where Flacco's 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, with a quarterback rating of 100. Their offensive line is played better. He's only been sacked 4 times. And Chase Brown is averaging 7 yards per carry. So for whatever reason, with Joe Flacco in the huddle, everything about that Bengal offense has gotten better. So I'm with Alex. I mean, if they have to go to Jake Browning, I think it's a significant step backwards. Joe Flacco can still spin it, guys. The ball comes out of his hands as quick as any quarterback in the National Football League. And he knows where his bread is buttered. You realize in the 3 games he's played, he has targeted Jamar Chase 54 times. Do the math. That's
insane.
18 targets per game.
Mhm.
That Luther Burden's been targeted 12 times all season. Now, again, Luther's not the same player as Jamar. I'm just trying to give it a little bit of context. Jamar Chase is being targeted, and for good reason, 18 times a game the last 3 weeks.
And who's going to cover him?
No defense. No defense. No, ain't nobody covering him. Yeah, team-wise, you have to scheme around him, but understand that, okay, if we double this guy, hell, they got Higgins on the other side, and he can beat you. He can be a guy that can beat you when we're talking about in a game. He can be a number one if forced to be. So you're just in a position where we have to do what we have not been able to do, and that's get pressure on the quarterback. That is going to be a key thing, because you don't want to send pressure. Now you're one-on-one with these guys. You don't want that. You don't want one-on-one. You don't want to be forced to play man, but you got to get pressure down.
The other thing you got to do.
Tommy, last 3 games between Higgins and Chase, 74 targets.
It's crazy. It's unbelievable. And for good reason. Why wouldn't you? If you've got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, they throw him the ball every effing time.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing that I think you got to do, because I don't think you can slow them down, and I'm with Alex. I mean, it's time for that very well-paid defensive line to create some pass rush, run the hell out of the football, control the clock, and keep them on the sideline. Sometimes your best defense is a ball control offense, and their defense is so bad in Cincinnati. They're dead last in yards allowed, dead last in points allowed, dead last in third downs, and dead last in run defense. They give up over 150 rushing yards per game. So if I'm Ben Johnson, I come
Run
out.
the dang ball, Ben.
I try to protect my injured secondary by controlling the game, by running the football. That's one of the things I would do.
Hey, it's one of those games where I have my Caleb Williams rookie card sitting in my office, right? It's right behind me when I'm on my computer. And it's one of those games, if he doesn't come out of here just at crazy numbers, playing a hell of a football game, I'm gonna probably have to put it in the safe until things change. You know what I mean? Like this defense is terrible.
So he should throw over 300 yards.
Yes.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he should. Yeah, he should throw over 300. If we can run the ball, cool. If not, we should be able to throw the ball up and down the field. If Flacco's playing, he will be required to throw for over 350.
Look, like when I say they need to run the ball and control the clock, I'd be great with them running it for 200 yards. You realize the Jets put up over 500 yards on this defense last week. So, you can run for 200 and throw for 300, and we can all go home happy.
Yep. Cap's favorite quarterback on the Jets. I mean,
Who's their backup? Because it's not Justin.
They don't have one. They don't have
and again, he's a wonderful kid. When he comes to the podium and says, I was on the floor of my closet crying, I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. Because I think that's the part people miss. That, yes, your favorite guys out there playing football, and you think they're a machine. They're not. No. We're human. We're human. We have all the feelings and emotions that everybody else have. And yes, there are times where shit is just so intense, I need to take a moment.
Yeah.
Because when I leave my house, I have to be a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
God bless him. He's a great kid.
No, it's hard.
By the way, the Bengals are 30th against the pass.
We'll take it.
That's awesome.
We'll take it.
All right, before I let you go, prediction time. Tom Waddle.
Bears 40, Bengals 36.
Wow.
Yep.
Take the over.
I'm on that. Especially if Flacco plays. If Flacco plays, I'm right around that. 34, 37, 34. Bears win, but they win with a Cairo Santos field goal at the end. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Perfect.
I'm going to go 31-27 Chicago.
So take the over. Let's take the over. Let's take a touchdown. Let's do some props or something. There's something in this game that you can make money on.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should be betting. We don't play, though. We're good. We don't play, so we're good.
Yeah, we do. On days that end in a Y. Wow. All right, you guys have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you next week, both of you, in Melrose Park at Hooters. Oh, 2 weeks. Sorry. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay, I'm glad you said
Right?
that. I'd have showed up there. I would have been there just having wings and waiting on the cap crew.
That's it. It'll be the 11th of November.
Okay.
Hooters Melrose Park.
Perfect.
You guys have a wonderful rest of your night.
Thanks,
Love
man.
working with you.
For sure.
Appreciate you. There you go. That is our Studio 41 football recap live for October 28th. Bear down. Get this thing righted after one loss and get back on the win train. See you soon. Take that. Studio 41 Football Recap Live is brought to you by Studio 41 Home Design Showroom. 13 locations, studio41.com. Vertical, in business since 1985. Chicago's chimney experts for chimney cleanings, masonry work, gas logs. VerticalChimney.com. Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers, the official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. Hooters. At Hooters, originality isn't just one thing, it's everything. World-famous wings and more, served up by the iconic Hooters girl. Hooters, always original. Dr. Pepper, an American original, just like our Chicago Bears. Grab an ice-cold, refreshing Dr. Pepper today at a McDonald's near you. Special Olympics Illinois. Special Olympics Illinois, so I did. Learn more at SOILL.org. Apt. For the best appliances for football season, shop at Apt. Pleasing people since 1936. Find them at apt.com. Four Seasons, heating, plumbing, air conditioning, and electric. For all the right reasons, Four Seasons.
Our family had been talking about redoing the kitchen for a long time. Studio 41 had all the pieces I wanted.
With Studio 41, we found their prices competitive. They helped us stay on a budget.
They spent a lot of time with me in the studio, and I got to touch and feel things.
Our big fear was if you go online, who's standing behind the product? Studio 41 had the best selection, and they took her ideas and brought it to life.
It was everything I dreamed it could be.
Visit studio41.com to find a showroom near you.
Okay, we're just here for dishwashers.
Just a dishwasher.